Finalizing project documentation also is one of these pivotal steps in project closure process. Provides a complete record of what was achieved, how it was achieved, and the lessons learned along the way. This process ensures the transparency for all of the stakeholders and validates the completion of the project objectives. Additionally, these finalized documents are treasure trove for information for future projects, aiding in better planning, execution, and risk management. For example, an IT project, um, final documentation often includes the technical specification and testing records and client approvals, ensuring that the product aligns with the requirements and the standards. But what exactly the purpose of ensuring that all of the project documentation is finalized? So the purpose of finalizing the documentation extends beyond simply just closing a project. These records provide a formal account of the project outcomes, ensuring that uh, all of the stakeholders understand what has been accomplished, and they are also critical for the audits and compliance, particularly in regulated industries like construction and healthcare. Moreover, these documents serves as a valuable knowledge sharing tool, helping the future project teams to avoid the pitfalls and replicate success. Consider, let's say, an example here where a manufacturing project where the finalizing the documentation could include the details on the equipment specification, vendor performance, and cost analysis, which provide a strong foundation for similar projects in the future. Again, these key components of the final project documentation, the key components of the final project here encapsulate every significant aspect of the project lifecycle. It's like the project charter can be one of these documents. Also, the scope statements, which define what was planned versus what was delivered. Also, the approved change requests and the issue log to show how the project were adapted or how the project were adapting all of these challenges. Meanwhile, the finalized budget and schedule and risk register will provide a snapshot of how well the project adhered to its constraints. So think of each of these documents tells a part of the project story, ensuring that nothing is overlooked. Some of these challenges that you might face when trying to finalize the project documentation for the project closure, including one of these common issues is missing or incomplete reports, which can leave critical gaps on the project history. Also, delays in the stakeholder feedback or approvals can also stall let's say, the closure process, especially in complex projects where with a diverse stakeholder. We also have, or let's say, additionally, we have managing a large volume of data efficiently is often, say, headache. So, particularly in projects that generate subsistent records like IT system upgrades. So, overcoming these challenges requires an early planning and robust data management system and clear communication with all of the stakeholders. The best practices to finalize the project reports and documentation is the project manager should adhere to the best practices and begin by ensuring that all of the documents are updated and reflects the project current state. Also, by using a standardized format to maintain consistency consistency across all of the records, making them easier to understand and use. Finally, you may involve the stakeholders in reviewing and approving the documentation. You need to involve these stakeholders in reviewing, which is not only ensures the accuracy, but also builds a confidence and trust between stakeholders. Let's take an example here, whereas in an agile software projects, the team often use the retrospectives to gather the insights and document lessons learned in standardized format, creating a resource that supports the continuous learning. One of these real world examples of documentation when closing one of these projects. So, let's say in a large scale construction project, close out documentation include the approved blueprints, the contractor agreements, and the inspection reports. These records provides a complete picture of the project execution and ensures that the client satisfaction with the deliverables. The comprehensive documentation not only closed the project successfully, but also highlighted the lessons learned, such as the importance of having clear communication in managing the subcontractors, um, also other lessons learned. So this case study underscores how through documentation can improve the processes and outcomes of the future projects. Here are some of these tools that you can utilize to have an effective documentation. So effective tools are essential for managing the project documentation. Document management system or the DMS streamlines the storage, the retrieval, and organization of records. Also, the collaboration tools like Microsoft Teams or Slack to enable real-time feedback and inputs from the stakeholders, while templates and checklists ensure the consistency and completeness. By leveraging these tools, the project managers can handle even complex documentation requirements efficiently, ensuring that no critical detail is overlooked. To highlight the importance again of having the lessons learned part of the project closure. So, lessons learned reports are valuable for improving the project outcomes or the project performance as well. By documenting the successes and the challenges, the teams can identify what worked well and what needs an improvement. These reports provide an actionable insights that guides the future project and encourage knowledge sharing across the organization. For example, an aerospace project that encountered some delays due supply chain issues documented the mitigation strategies, which helped the future teams and the future projects to avoid similar challenges and enhance the overall project efficiency. Stakeholders again. So the role here of the stakeholders in finalizing the documentation. Stakeholders are integral to finalize the project documentation. They validate the accuracy of the records, they approve the final deliverables, and ensure the alignment with the organization goals. Engaging the stakeholders effectively can make difference between a smooth project closure and, let's say, pending issues. For instance, let's take here an example where there is a healthcare IT project involving the clinical staff. For example, in reviewing the system configuration, ensured that the final deliverables meet the end user needs and regulatory requirements. And to summarize our session here on the project documentation and finalizing these documentation, we say that finalizing the project documentation is foundational aspect of the project closure. Comprehensive record which validate the project outcomes, also the stakeholder collaboration ensures their accuracy. Also the standardized processes which is streamline the entire effort. Together, these practices enable not just a successful closure of the current project, but also lays the groundwork for the success future projects and initiatives.